Hello, gentlemen. Mgtow Cowboy has accepted my invitation to discuss or slash debate whether or not we are monogamous creatures. Um, the late Kevin Samuels did not believe that we are monogamous creatures. He said that we are not monogamous creatures. And Mgtow Cowboy, he said that he agrees with Kevin Samuels on this particular topic. So we agreed to talk and talk a bit at 9 o'clock. I'm just coming on here, and what I first like to do is play some of this clip because I would like to refresh some of our memory as to some of the things that Kevin Samuels spoke what he said about cheating and high value men and also regular dudes. Absolute knowledge seekers, how you doing? Nice to see you. How you doing? You doing good? Hello, Eddie. Yeah, it's been a while. I want to make a few videos about why I took a break. Felt like I needed to just kind of take a break. I may still be in that mode, but uh, back for now. Okay, good, good. Yeah, I have. Yeah, I've just been pretty much working and thinking about different things. Uh, every once in a while, I'll have a change uh, in my life, something that really gets revealed to me, and it just changes my whole outlook on things. And it had to do with uh, just, I guess, just this world, people, um, this subject here, men and women relationships, religion, so I still believe the same, but I have some views that I'd like to express or convey, and just kind of get some feedback, because I'm sure other people feel the same way. You said hard to grow when people know your red pill. Yeah, that's true. What's his name? The Andrew Tate guy just got canceled. That's amazing to me. That I posted a video in my community section. Go check that video out if you haven't seen it. He's really sharp, and what he has gone through is terrible. Hey, Narc, nice to see you, buddy. Yeah, I'm glad you're here. I wasn't expecting. Well, it's only a few, but it's a lot to me. I thought it was gonna be. But anyway, I'm still waiting for Mgtow Cowboy. He's supposed to, what time is it right now? Okay, it's 9 o'clock exactly. So he should be coming on. We're going to talk about this thing about monogamous creatures. Now, what do y'all think? The narc perspective, Eddie, and absolute knowledge seekers. What do you believe we are monogamous creatures? I just say yes or no. Okay, Eddie, you said I watch your new videos, tried to leave comments, and of course they've been instantly wiped. Yeah, that's a shame. So tired of Susan's platform. Yeah, I saw sometimes I see notifications and then click on it and the comment's gone. But there was one comment that I saw that I was going to delete anyway because it was some, um, how they'll leave some sexual, comment or a link or something. And so when I was trying to click on, well, I clicked on to the person who left it and then I blocked them. And then when I clicked back, the comment was gone. All right, absolute seekers, you say, I believe men should be monogamous. For women, it's disgusting. Okay, yeah, but do you believe that we are monogamous creatures or whatever that means? Like if somebody asks you, do you believe we are monogamous creatures? Kevin Samuels said no. Okay, I believe that we are. And I'd like to, just give my views why I believe that we are. And then I'd like to hear why others like Mgtow Cowboy believe that we are not. Um, let me see here. Eddie, you say, I believe this heavily depends on environment. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Um. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Without giving the what I'm thinking, let me see. uh, okay, now absolute knowledge seeker. You say I believe men should be monogamous. All right, now Eddie. Now you say depending on your environment, do you still believe that a man should be monogamous in any environment? Is that the ideal thing? Okay, narc perspective. You say I think without Christ, we're all selfish and want more than necessary. But I think men are more prone to have multiple partners. They're more prone to have multiple partners. Okay. Absolute knowledge seekers. Too many 304s out here. I want to think about what narc perspective you just said. I think without Christ, we're all selfish and want more than necessary. Okay, yeah. But I think men are more prone to have multiple partners. All right, why do you say that though? We're more prone to have multiple partners, I guess more prone than women. Where it do you mean prone as in it doesn't look bad for a man to have multiple partners versus a woman, or do you believe that men desire having multiple women more than women desire having multiple men? Eddie, you say we used to have a monogamous environment, then the sex lib movement destroyed it and replaced it with hookup culture. Oh, okay. You know what? See, Eddie, I was thinking about like different cultures, where polygamy is, allowed. And so, in that instance is neither it's not cheating and it's not dishonorable. So in that case, that's what I was really thinking you had in your mind, but I see that you had a different view. The reason you answered that way. So yeah, we used to have a monogamous environment, yes. Then the sex lib movement destroyed it and replaced it with hookup culture. But you know what? I think right now we still have, well, maybe not a monogamous environment, but I would say where if a person is in a relationship and they violate that monogamy, it's not something that's favorable. It's something that's shameful still in general. Although we excuse it away, it doesn't seem as serious, but it still has a negative connotation. So it's like if we're not monogamous creatures or we're not supposed to be, why what's up with the guilt or the shame and sneaking around? Even if you're a high value man, why sneak around if this is the way it's supposed to be? Absolute knowledge seekers. Actually, I believe that men should be polygamous, women monogamous. All right. Why do you believe men should be polygamous? Red pill in the wind, yo. All right. Nice to see you here. Absolute knowledge seekers. My mistake. Oh, okay. What's up, Win? Okay, now let me see. Eddie, absolutely. Monogamous environment contributes to healthy society. I agree with that. Uh, I'm sorry, let's skip something here. What am I doing? Based on the situation. Okay, red pill. Okay, yeah, based on the situation, status, culture, class, or caste. Yeah. Okay, right. That's what I was thinking originally. And then Eddie was talking about this, I guess, the westernized culture, how it's changed because when we on television, uh, the family arrangement used to be presented in a different way or more honorable way in the past, and now we know what it's become and what it's changed to and what's acceptable and what's glorified. You have promiscuous women, uh, who openly destroy men or marry them just to come up, financially, and that's something that's glorified now. You think about the Kardashians and other shows that are on. One, I'm just trying to read through these comments. Let me see. Based on the situation, okay, absolute knowledge seekers. I'm one man. Well, let me put it over here. I forgot. I've been off of here so long. I forgot what the things, how to do it. All right, one man and multiple women is cool. One woman, multiple men is disgusting. Okay, from your point of view, yeah, or from men's point of view, we would say that. But some women, I just watched a um, someone having a discussion on this very subject. You have a lot of women who feel now that, well, hey, we should be able to do the same thing. Now, of course, the men on the panel were explaining to them we're not the same, and it doesn't look the same. It's not the same because they're receivers and the men are more the depositors. They have to carry someone's seed. It just has a different. It's just different. But from a woman's perspective or certain women's perspectives, they are not going to agree with that. It's not disgusting, or they try to convince themselves to say that it's not. Eddie, you say I tried to post my 2 cents again. Hopefully it stays. It's hard to comment here with brief sentences. Yeah, well, write a long one. It's no problem. The narc, you say I think the iniquity of men is weakness to women. The iniquity of men is weakness to women. Yeah, I mean, you have to elaborate on that. Different things run through my mind. I think like iniquity of men is weakness to women. Men who don't stand for, uh, let me see, have high values or aren't committed to fidelity. What pops in my head is like a quote unquote high value man, like Kevin Samuels would talk about. I think that type of man is weakness to women because. Um, and I don't want to just say women. I just say weakness to the family, to the family arrangement. It weakens the family, that bond, and that environment. It destroys that environment. I believe that men should be polygamous. Okay, for a laundry list of reasons. All right, well, put some of them on there. All right, red pill in the wind. A lot of men are going to die single, childless. Yeah, that's on the rise because you have men are really just staying away from women now, or staying away more than they would be uh, did before. Eddie, you say I think KS. I'm sorry. I think KS's line of thinking doesn't have anything to do with exploring options. Okay, as much as the specific quote unquote high value guys that he's referring to having low impulse control. Now, let me read that again. Okay, I think KS's line of thinking doesn't have anything to do with exploring options as much as the specific high value guys that he's referring to having low impulse control. Okay, all right. Good point. Well, all right. So now I'm getting back to Red. I think who was it? No, yeah, absolute knowledge seekers. What's some of the reasons why men should be polygamous? Is having the low impulse control one of those reasons? You could say it's way better if two women do a tag team. Okay, all right, not two dudes. All right, soft sands. Hello, soft sands. Thanks for stopping by. Okay, all right, all right. All right, let me see. Eddie, I think anything outside of one man, one woman is disgusting, period. Yeah, I mean, this is what I'd like to discuss. Mr. What's his Mgtow Cowboy? He's not here, but yeah, I think this is very clear. I mean, even when we were young kids, if you had a girlfriend or boyfriend relationship, you understood that you're it's a exclusive thing, so that some men believe that it's supposed to be an open relationship, or at least on one end, on your end, it should be open. It's kind of you know um, ridiculous to me. Okay, absolute knowledge seekers. I'm definitely not into sharing women. Women will share men a lot of times willingly. That's true. Yeah, you're right about that. They're more prone to being to agreeing to it, and that thing makes me think about the narc perspectives comment where he was saying that men are more prone. I think you said men are more prone to be polygamous. Let me go back here so I can get your what you said right. Here we go. You said I think men are more prone to have multiple partners. Okay, yeah, and so I was saying that women, yeah, they do seem to accept it more if the man has a multiple partners or he has multiple wives. Let me say that because I'm coming from that perspective, um, rather than a woman having multiple husbands. I can't see that. I can't see any men really agreeing to that or wanting to agree to it. Yep, I've been off a long time. That's true. I'm still not fully back. The narc perspective. You say, well, in the scriptures, God allowed men to have multiple wives, but He never allowed women to have multiple husbands. True. Terminator. Oh, Terminator. How you doing? Most women are not trustworthy enough to commit to. Yes, we have found that out. We have found that out, unfortunately. Guys, I'm gonna play some of this video of what Kevin Samuel. It's only short. Okay, one part. The first part I think is going to be about a minute and a half. Then I want to jump to timestamp 7:20, in which he says something else. Uh, and now I never saw this video before. I mean, I watched it today, but I didn't see it before. Now I've told people that, of course, Kevin identified himself as a believer, okay, or a Christian. Okay, remember one time he made a video about why who was it? Why black men are leaving the church or something along those lines. Okay, and he made a video about that, and he was like, you know, I thought he was stepping out of bounds because I've heard him speak to women, and a few women were correcting him on something he said about what was in the Bible. I mean, it was something that was really, really simple and clear. Um, so he's really out of his element if he's talking about God. But he said I think he used to be in served on served as having to do with the single. Um, anyway, he was active in his church at one time. Okay, I'll just say that because I can't remember the details at the moment. I don't want to say anything wrong. But anyway, you're going to notice what he says, and this is what you've noticed that he never really talks about morals or values, from what I remember. And then this will be very telling when I let timestamp 7:20 play. Okay, I'm gonna read these most of these comments when I just let this play. Okay, as a sounding board for our debate or discussion about monogamy. Okay, just we'll continue. All right, let me just let it play from here for about a minute. I mean, a minute and a half.
Well, should he pay the mortgage if he don't feel like it? The bottom line is, ladies, I've listened to so many women cap, pop, jump, talking about how they wouldn't accept it. And I'm looking at most of these women. I'm like, you ain't never got to worry about this. No way. You're not hot enough. You're not fit enough, and your attitude is trash for these men. Especially on YouTube, I hear these loud, aggressive, masculine women talking about how they're not going to accept anybody cheating. I'm like, if you don't be quiet talking about high value men, ain't nobody have high value men looking at your masculine butt.
Okay, now on that part, he's he's right. Yeah, because I would say men are usually looking for someone that's agreeable, feminine. They're going to be submissive. So you have some women that aren't really a candidate for those type of men that they're looking for anyway. I mean, his show was a revelation of that to a lot of women anyway. You know, let me let him go on here. Uh, and y'all go ahead and comment too. I'll put these comments up here on the screen. Okay. All right.
Why is this important? Because you ladies are getting so many messages. Let me make it real clear. High value men don't cheat, they just exercise their options. At best, you need to make an arrangement and have some rules of engagement. That's it.
Okay. Now, do y'all agree with that? High value men don't cheat. Okay, first of all, what is cheating? What define that? Okay, let me go back here. I just want to go back to some of the comments. Okay, Eddie, you said what I mean is exploring options being an excuse for low impulse control. Okay, all right. Okay, got you. Um, you said back when having fathers was the norm, they used to teach young men impulse control, right, and avoid instant gratification. Yeah, it's very important. I mean, you have to control yourself, otherwise you'll get into a lot of trouble. Not only dealing with the subject of women. You have to have self control, self discipline. Um, yeah, because whatever you desire to do is not something that's good or beneficial for you. So that's why you need parents that guide and direct you. But it's a shame that you have men who don't teach their sons that. You have some men who will tell their sons, just use a condom and such and such. They may teach something different than. I'm saying this. I'm saying this from experience from what my dad, who did not raise me, told me, versus what my mother, taught me. I was raised in a cult, of course, that I'm no longer in, but I did learn. Um, I kept the morals that it taught. And I was I'm grateful for that. And I'm glad that I did not listen to what my father had told me. But of course, I wasn't living with him, but he was known to be good with the ladies. Well, also my granddad too. But anyway, I was raised in that cult, and I didn't go that route, and I'm glad I did. I could see I started out well, and then went off in the wrong direction. So I can kind of have two views on starting out right, both for the man and the woman, and versus starting out a different way. You know. Uh, okay, Eddie. Okay, now it's anything goes. Yeah. All right. Let me see. Yeah, I've been pretty good. Just just thinking, doing a lot of self reflection. Also, just thinking about my own um, weaknesses or things that I need to change about myself, rather than speaking about or focusing in on what the ladies need to do. But I'm not saying that doesn't need to be voiced. It still continues to need to be voiced, because we have to serve as a let's see here, validate a lot of men that are waking up on their own, who haven't, perhaps they're not on the internet or whatever, but they've gone through um, a change in their relationships, where they are waking up now. They observe a pattern, and so they become Mgtow themselves. Where they just make a commitment, saying, "Hey, you know what? I'm just staying away. I'm done with it." Then they search around like I did to find out if other men have gone through, you know, what they've gone through. That's what I did, and then that's how I came across Mgtow, you know, and I said, okay, this is very very common beyond what I thought, you know, and so that for that reason, men need a yeah, outlet where they could talk about it, and see that, hey, yeah, it's very common, and they can get other pointers from men. They can learn. Some men still want to pursue a woman, but they can be more cautious. Their eyes can be more open. They'll be better equipped to identify red flags, or bad signs. Uh, so yeah, this is very very necessary. Uh, I mean, speaking the truth is always needed. Okay, Eddie, you say exactly. And what's interesting is how Chaos would often tell guests the world doesn't owe you understanding, but then make all the excuses. Yeah, yeah, I was not a Kevin Samuels fan. because you can just see through all that stuff. But I see. I like to speak with some individuals who, because there's a lot of them on here who backed him, but didn't seem to think that his okay, they thought that he was actually, the term they would say would be saving lives. Okay, okay. I'm not saying anything that he said did no good, because it obviously did. But overall, like I say, uh, his rejection of traditional values served to destroy families. I think most of us agree that traditional values, this monogamy, where we're at least being faithful to one another. I think that's pretty fundamental to a good relationship. But then you run into an individual like himself who, takes a sledgehammer to the foundation stone. Then you think, so how is he saving lives? And how is he saving lives by denigrating Mgtow men as if what they're doing is foolish, and as if they are only men low on the totem pole, as if quote unquote high value men have not experienced divorce from their wives, and having been taken for half of what they got. So a person that was that is whereas he was, and then to lead men back to these women who are doing nothing but putting on an act, just as we found out before. But they go on his show, find out pointers, and then they put on that act just to get their man. And it's just the same cycle, because think about it, he never talks about morality. Let me play that part. That's the part I have to get to right now. There's some other parts on here that, let me just skip to it right now. Now keep in mind that he claimed to be a believer. Okay, here we go.
Living with other women or dying alone. Let's get into it. Because I don't understand why so many women have this issue with men cheating. You don't have to accept men cheating. You don't have to accept any of it. And here's another thing. I'm not talking to anybody about anything around along the lines of religion in this case. No,
Okay, wait a minute. I'm gonna play that again. I just noticed your comment, the narc perspective. Let me see here. You said, uh, oops, wait a minute. I like the Passport Brothers movement. It seems vastly better than trying to date American women. Okay, I'm not familiar with that, but that's not the comment I saw. Okay, here it is. You say I'm definitely a KS fan. Okay, you really surprised me. Okay, because I know your beliefs. I believe we talked extensively. So this is why I'm laughing or smiling. Okay, I'm you intrigued. I'm interested in this. Okay, you say I'm definitely a KS fan. Then you say this, but he didn't destroy family values. Okay, it's already destroyed. He was slightly better than feminism. Okay, destroy family values. Okay, they're already destroyed, but I kind of disagree with you on that. I think he did serve to destroy. Okay, if I tell you, okay, let's say I'm talking to your wife, okay, as a friend, okay, not trying to get with her. Say I'm a friend of hers, okay, platonic friend, and I encourage her to be faithful to you, okay. Would you consider that contributing to building your continuing to build your family? I'm not building it, but I'm putting giving her a mentality that is in agreement with y'all being successful. Now, if I told her, no, just go, when you get the urge, go with another man or whatever, just whatever. But I don't encourage the family values that I know that man. I mean, you believe in. So would you say I'm either contributing to or destroying your family values by what I tell her? So this is how what's in my mind when I think about, KS. All right, now I'm gonna let it play. Let me go back tiny bit. Now notice this.
Along the lines of religion in this case. No, you don't have to, or neither one of those options. Moms, having girlfriends, living with other women, or dying alone. Let's get into it. Because I don't understand why so many women have this issue with men cheating. You don't have to accept men cheating. You don't have to accept any of it. And here's another thing. I'm not talking to anybody about anything around along the lines of religion in this case. No, nothing along the lines of religion. I don't want to hear nothing about the Bible, what Jesus said, what God says. None of it. Absolutely none of it. Zip, zero, zilch, nada. We're going to have real conversations. So if you need Jesus to come into this, go on somewhere else.
Okay, I never heard him. That's the first time I heard him say that. But I mean, I already knew that the spirit. I already knew he felt that way. You know what I'm saying? Without him ever having said it. And so that's why I'm not one of his fans. It's like, oh, if you're a believer, you believe that you can't have a real conversation when you're talking about relationships. You're talking about the relationship that God actually instituted, marriage. And so you think that you can't have a real conversation talking about the creator whom you claim to believe in. Yeah, that says a lot to me. Right? Eddie says slightly better than feminism. Is that supposed to be a compliment? Yeah, so if he's only slightly better than feminism, why would you be a fan of that? The narc. I'm just picking on you. All right, there's something else I wanted you to hear because I think I skipped it. I just wanted you to show where he was not trying to hear about Jesus or someone bringing religion at all into being a high value man no, I'm sorry, the subject of cheating, okay, as a high value man.
And ain't nobody have how value men looking at your masculine butt. Why is this important? Because you ladies are getting so many messages. Let me make it real clear. High value men don't cheat. They just exercise their options. At best, you need to make an arrangement and have some rules of engagement. That's it. And if you're not willing to accept that, then go on, get you an average guy, and then deal with that lifestyle. But for the people who want to be able to live that higher level lifestyle, you can't afford it. He's going to facilitate that. And he's going to get what he wants, or he's not going to pick you. And if you think you're going to hold out for the one Russell Wilson, y'all all look crazy.
All right, I think I'll stop there. The only other comment that I had was when he referred to just going to get you a regular dude, where you have to, have that lifestyle. And so, yeah, I just thought he was a contradiction and spoken hypocrisy, um, in relation to what he knows. Okay, as far as the Bible and far as well, not primarily that. Um, on the subject of women, of what he knows of women. Okay, but on the subject of fidelity and things, yeah, in relation to what he knows about that or what God's standards. So okay, our Mgtow Cowboy did not show up. I'll see what was why he couldn't make it. But we had just spoke not long ago. or with the comments here. So something probably came up because what happened with me was we were going to do it at 8 today, but then I said let's do it at 9 because I had something to do that was taking me longer than I thought, and he said that would be good, but evidently something else came up. All right, Eddie, you say, oh, I did that already. Yeah, that's right there. Excuses for days, as in I'm a high value man, so I'll have my cake and eat it too, right? All the bad consequences done to society be damned. Yeah. I just think about what's his name? Jackson. You know the guy I'm trying to he has a large YouTube channel and he catered more to women and he even wore a shirt or he's in a picture with a shirt that says black men don't cheat. I did a video with a music talking about the options. He's in that. Derek Jackson, I think that's his name. Yeah, okay. So he cheated on his wife. Then he makes a video looking all pitiful. Uh, Matt Lauer cheated on his wife, and then look at the disgrace that he was involved in. His wife divorced him. Uh, I'm sure that a lot of men that you consider high value man or that cheated and got caught. Oh, Adam Levine. He was from the videos that we see on there. He had an affair with an Instagram model while his wife was pregnant. Okay, yeah, Jeff. Yeah, Jeff Bezos also cheated. I don't know the whole situation with that, but is that what uh, initiated a divorce? Did she divorce him due to that? But there are countless examples, where uh, I mean these are very rich men, even beyond the what making a hundred or 200,000 a year. These guys are multi-millionaires, some of them billionaires. So what happens when they cheat or exercise their options? They don't have that right. If they had that right, why do they feel the need to sneak around? You know, they sneak around, then they get caught, then their wife is highly displeased, and many end up divorced. Some will remain. Um, I think some actually probably like their husbands, and they it doesn't bother them so much if their husband has other ladies, and she generally enjoys the lifestyle. She may really love him or just have a thing for him. So those situations also happen. Oh yeah, Tiger Woods. That's another excellent example. What happened to high value man Tiger Woods? He was out there exercising his options, but well, his wife sure didn't feel the same way that Kevin Samuels thinks. But she fit the the criteria that he sets out. But like I was saying in my other videos, what you do is you jump through all these hoops that Kevin Samuels tells them, and then what do they find out? The woman finds out, no, you're not good enough, or you're not enough. He says that in this video. That's why I wanted to play this video. Where is it? I think it's gonna play. Let me let it play a little longer. And so yeah, so Tiger Woods cheated. It shows his wife that no, you're not good enough. You know, you're you mean the world to me, or you're the one I love. You mean the most, but you don't mean enough for me to get involved with other women that don't mean anything to me. Well, this is what a lot of men say. They say, well, she means nothing to me, but you're willing to lose the woman that means everything to you. So don't get that. I think men who are raised with wise fathers who love them, teach them different values and keep them out of these types of messes. Let me let this go on. and see if he says it.
I'm gonna hold out for the one guy. No, not. Because all that means is you're just sitting around waiting. Y'all sound crazy. I'm not gonna cheat. I'm not gonna share. All right, go get with a guy who works making 41,500, but then you're not gonna respect him. So what are you gonna do, ladies? If you do qualify from an aesthetic standpoint for a high value man, then you have the mindset to accept the fact that marriage is going to be a business arrangement. He's in it for what he's in it for. He's out for what he's out of it for. He's going to pay it up front. There's going to be a severance package. And if you get out of line, you're dismissed. Or can you accept and respect an average man who would be faithful to you? Or are neither one of those options acceptable to you? And you think you're going to be, and you choose to be like so many women are choosing to be dog moms, having girlfriends.
I'd like to say, in your experience, what he identifies as average men. Have you've probably been around a lot of average men over your lives. All right, how do average men cheat? I just think about that. Let me let him go on because he still hasn't said the thing that I'm waiting for him to say.
Living with other women, or dying alone. Let's get into it. Because I don't understand why so many women have this issue with men cheating.
Okay, I'm going to stop it just to anyway. He said he actually tells them that you're not enough. Okay, he tells once he get with this high value man, you are not enough. You know, I would say that in my videos, but I didn't know Kevin Samuels actually came out and said that. You know, so it's yeah, it's really crazy that women would listen to him or think highly of him, or men. That's what I really get surprised at. Okay, now the narc perspective. You said, okay, men sneak around. It's because the laws are in women's favor. That's why they sneak around. Okay, I agree with part of that, but you have some men who do not want to hurt their wives because if they shield it from their wife because they don't want to hurt her. Do you agree with that? Do men in general think if they sleep with another woman, sneak to sleep with another woman, and the wife thinks the relationship is good, she thinks she's pleasing him? Do you think men generally think that if the wife found out that he was with another woman that would hurt her? It has nothing to do with the law. I think all women have no rich and famous men. All right. Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's right. He cheated too, right? He cheated with the housekeeper or something. Knocked up a cleaning lady. Right. Right. Exactly. Another very high value man. But what happened? That family was destroyed. All right. So that's why I say when I say he helps destroy families because of this mentality that he put in men's heads, and believing that it's your right to cheat because of what he says about high value man. Then if you listen to some of his videos, he says the reason is basically because you are a lot of women are attracted to you, or a lot of women want you. But that holds true for a lot of poor guys. So what's going to happen is he's just putting in the men's heads, young men, old men, whoever it is. But I think about especially the young men. He puts in their head that they have the right to cheat because women because there are going to be other women that desire you. Knowing that infidelity is one reason that marriages break up. So why not just teach, hey, faithful, with the person that you're with, the one that you supposedly adore, you got the woman that you want. So why would you show her that she's not enough, or you don't want her exclusively? Well, then don't marry her, because you will hurt the woman in most cases, or she'll be hurt. We'll put it that way, in some type of way. Uh, Eddie, you say all of these are high value men, right? Exercising the options, yeah, sure, exactly, yep. I love your comments because I can hear your, exactly the way you feel, right, about him. Let me see. Narc protect all powerful men cheat. We all know this. That's not true. Narc, you saying some things that surprised me. Maybe you went through some change too, like I did. All powerful men cheat. All know this. Yeah, no. People say that. All right, from the Bible perspective, what powerful men cheated? I mean, no. Name a couple, just a couple of powerful men that is they weren't known to cheat. You know, I don't think men in let me say, well, a man that loves his wife, I don't think he wants to cheat. All right, when you have a close relationship, you really don't need anyone else. I mean, I think I can relate to it only because I never had sex before marriage. All right, and so if it's held in a high, it's something that's sacred or a big deal. If sex is considered a big deal, and then marriage is a big deal, and then you marry a woman who also saved herself, who thinks the same way, and so it's a bond where you never known anyone else sexually, and you don't want to know that, because you saved yourself for your mate, and so when you get your mate, it's like a super big deal, and then you just you grow together. Uh, there may be other people that try to that will tempt you, but it's really, you just don't have no interest. It like really irritates you when a woman will try to seduce you, because you only see your wife, and you have women like that too. So, but I know that in this culture, in this society, a lot of people didn't start haven't started out that way, so they can't relate to what I'm telling them, or um, being able to see it through those eyes, or because they haven't experienced it. But I have, like I said, I started out that way, and then I also know the on the other end, with being with a lot of women committing fornication, and then marrying a woman who also has been with other people. So I know the difference in the dynamics of the relationship of each. There's a difference. That's why if you go back to the Bible, but you don't even have to go to the Bible, because a lot of men just know this. Uh, it's preferable to marry a virgin. You don't want a woman who's attached to another man sexually in the deepest way. I mean, that's the most intimate thing you could do with a woman. Of course, it creates children. So I think men definitely prefer a virgin, who only knows you sexually, and is a lot higher percentage that or chance that she will not cheat on you, depending on her values. Depends on what she wants to do. Let me say, Eddie, you say yes. Many of these high value, powerful men guys do cheat. Oh yeah, I definitely agree with that. I mean, they do. I'm just saying every man of power, every rich man does not cheat. Just because he can. I mean, there's so many poor guys, that are bombarded by women. I mean, women desire them. You don't have to be rich for a lot of women to desire you. We know this. So you have a lot of guys who uh, are poor, you know, that cheat. constantly. I mean, I think most of us know probably just what the regular guy, and what have we seen? What or if you're a regular, or if you're a regular guy yourself, what do you do? Have you ever cheated on a woman, or do you cheat? Do you pump and dump women? When you had a girlfriend in high school, did you cheat? You know, think about other men that you know all throughout your life who weren't rich. You know, were they these virtuous saints? You know, just because they're a regular dude? I don't think so. But Kevin, in like the part that I played in this video, you can see that's what he kind of suggested. You see, most women make choices that bring themselves pain. Yeah, a lot of them do, based on a lot of the brainwashing that they're getting, they're receiving, and refusal to listen to the truth of matters. Listen, basically, come down and listen to your creator, our creator, who teaches us to love one another. Treat each other as you want to be treated. Um, you don't want your wife sneaking around on you, so why sneak around on her? There's many things. I think it's pretty much common sense, but getting deceived to do things that are going to break up your marriage, um, cater to your own selfishness. Like being entitled. A lot of women feel entitled these days, where it's all about them, me, and that's if you live that way, and then you get in relationships, you're going to be unsuccessful because you're not equipped mentally to endure. You know, and it may be a man that a woman is emotionally attached to, but because she's messed up mentally so much, she's just kind of repulsive to deal with. She's just hard to be with, and the man, you know, they get enough of her, and she'll be hurt by it. Women do love men. I know like you hear some Mgtow men say women are incapable of loving. That's not true either. If you, I don't know if these guys don't believe that their mother had any love for them, or I mean, love is when you do something good for the other person. You want to benefit that person. It does no, you don't want to injure that person. The narc perspective. You say the average men cheat, but it's a lot harder. Yeah, and then I think, excuse me, and then men don't know how to cheat, as well as women do. Um, yeah, they're pretty slick. Eddie, that's true, and that's why we don't like his overall message. His willingness to teach what should be done is why he's such a disappointment. Oh, his unwillingness, right, right. Okay, that's his unwillingness to teach what should be done is what. Yeah, that true. Uh, Guess they don't want to hurt their wives. Okay, there we go. That's the answer to that finally. Okay, right. So I think a lot of those men. I think that's primarily why a lot of those men sneak around. I mean, well, they know they're doing something that's society still frowns upon. They don't consider it a positive thing to go to cheat on your wife. Whether you're rich or not. So men sneak around because of the stigma, the way it looks. And also, if they have a good woman, okay, whom they love, whom they're very attached to, because she's very special, right? She's special enough for him to have married. He actually genuinely loves her, and she may love him, and she believes they have this great relationship where you know she has his full attention, and that she's doing all that she can to be pleasing to him. I mean, she's a good wife. And so these guys will feel guilty when they cheat on them because it's like, well, I have no reason to cheat on my wife other than just not being able to keep my stuff in my pants. I just want to go with these other women. So it's not a good thing. And then after they hurt their wives, they know some of these women will not forgive them, or they're just hurt too much. They trusted this man because of what he presented to her. He presented that he was being faithful, but no, he was sneaking around cheating on her. And so some women just don't recover from that. I think about, was it Matt Lauer? I don't know. I don't know her thinking and everything, but some of these divorces were pretty immediate. Once the guy uh, infidelity was made public, like some of those women is like, I'm out of here. And I'm sure they lost some of these good women because some of these men, they really seem devastated. Not because, and it's not always a financial thing. It's just because that they lost a good woman who is rare these days. You know, so think about that. We complain about all the bad women. You complain about all the bad women. Then let's say you become one of these high value men. Then you get a good woman. You actually find a good woman, a rare jewel, and then you go out and cheat on her, and then you lose her. So, I mean, but what Kevin Samuels tells you, well, you have the right to do that, and it's like encouraged. So you see who's actually loves you or wants to see you benefit as a man or wants to see a family really succeed. You have to go elsewhere and listen to somebody who's giving you traditional values, which intrinsically inside of yourself. You're a monogamous creature, or you want to be a monogamous creature. I mean, if you when you meet a woman, do you prefer that she has been with other men, or do you prefer that she had never been with anyone else? She probably would prefer that you had never been with anyone else, and it's so special. But this society makes it seem like it's I don't know, a fairy tale or corny, but it's not. I'll put it this way: if you've been in relationships, which you have, and you know how good that relationship feels, even though let's say your partner wasn't a virgin, okay, she wasn't promiscuous, but let's say she has been with a couple of other guys, all right. um but now y'all are together, and you had been with others too, all right. So but let's say you had a great relationship, all right. Now, but imagine now, I mean, and you're faithful to one another, but imagine if you neither one of you had been with anyone else, where it wasn't tainted in that way. Because when you've been with other people, especially a woman, there's a bond with those other men. She knew someone else uh, intimately, gave someone else her body, which is really sacred. Is only for a husband to enter that body or that temple, the way God considers it, because it's a temple. And so think about how much better or deeper your bond would be in not knowing anyone else. It's just deeper. If you've experienced some of what I'm if you start out that way, you can relate to it. But otherwise, I don't think it's a way that you can uh, fully comprehend. You know why a woman would is more prone to be faithful to her husband if she starts out as a virgin, if that is what she desires, though, because you can have a virgin who doesn't have traditional values. She's only just a virgin, just in the beginning. Then, I mean, because every woman starts somewhere. Okay, I'm going to read the rest of these comments, and then I think I'm going to check out. I really appreciate y'all stopping by, and I'm enjoying your comments. Okay, make sure I don't miss anything here. Wait a minute. Okay, the narc Eddie. It's not wrong with telling what it's it's nothing wrong with telling what is instead of what should be, because we all know what should be. The women are the ones confused about what is. Yeah, I think that the entitlement has just taken over them so much, that they want to believe these things, and it's really amazing the delusion that they pull over their eyes or continue to keep over their eyes. Nark, I don't see how he destroys families when all he is doing is bringing to light what happens anyway. Okay, I would say, okay, I thought I explained. All right, when let's say he condoning infidelity contributes to destroying families. Is breaching a contract. That you both promised certain things in the beginning, as far as being faithful to one another. I think most marriages have that in view. I didn't say all, but most have that in view. It's understood, and so he condones or facilitates breaking that bond, destroying families. So I don't know. I think that's pretty clear. I mean, if we're especially if you're a Mgtow guy, I mean, we're complaining because women aren't. I mean, are contributing to breaking up families for no reason. So how is it that someone that's familiar with that doesn't understand how Kevin Samuels was helping to destroy families? He basically was giving a wake up call to materialistic women who called in. I mean, entitled materialistic women who called in and couldn't understand why they no longer had the seductive powers that they used to. They weren't successful in getting a high value man or past men that may have become high value men, passed them up, and now that they hit the wall, they are trying to find out some other trick that they can get a man that get a man that they want, and he just gives them the hard reality. No, you don't fit, and your attitude shows that you don't even understand that you should be attractive to the man. I mean, they used to understand it, but now that they know that they're not attractive, they don't want to understand that they need to be attractive. And this doesn't make sense, you see. So that's all he showed them, and he, showed that, hey, even if he wanted to encourage men to be high value, but he was just showing them, hey, these women aren't good enough for us. You when you reach a certain status, you don't have to be faithful in your marriage, and I don't want to hear anything about Jesus or God. When it comes to cheating or being faithful in your marriage, you heard him. So I mean, why not? Why do you want to hear anything Jesus had to say? Because Jesus told us things that contribute to happy, successful marriages. I mean, he's the one that created us. So he knows how we're made. He knows the makeup of women even more than we do, and he knows the makeup of men. And we ourselves, when we are on here, the only things that we identify are things that women are doing in opposition to the tenets that God has laid out for us. The way He tells, because God specifically tells women what attitude they are to have toward their husbands, how they are to treat them. He tells men the same thing, how the way they're supposed to view their wives, how they're supposed to treat them. It's specific. It gives it specific, but we don't really hear that. But men are actually identifying how women are violating that, and men also violate it. And so this is why you have so many broken relationships, because they're violating um, the simple guidelines that the Creator gives gives us. The one who created marriage. It's like, well, if you don't follow the directions, with the product, you can't expect it to last. So KS he's given directions different than what the is in the instruction manual. So what's going to happen to your product? Eddie, we all know that elite earners play by a different set of rules. They always have and always will. Solomon, heck, even Abraham cheated with his handmaiden. Now I wouldn't say Abraham. He didn't cheat. Okay, he didn't cheat with his handmaid. That was Sarah's idea, because Sarah was barren, and so she gave Abraham her handmaiden, so that she could have a child through her. So that wasn't cheating. Um, you said, I think. Oh, and I wanted to say, okay, right here you said the elite earners play by a different set of rules. They always have and always will. You know, all right, I work for people who have money, affluent clientele, and what I see, I mean, everyone is the same. Everyone's the same. The only difference between the rich, of course, they have more protection because they have money. Like the Bible says, money is for protection. They don't have to worry about their bills. Um, they still do worry about their money, though. They don't want to lose their money. It just depends. A lot. You have a lot of people that actually love their money. That's their god. Um, Wait a minute, I'm getting a different subject. What I wanted to say is that people are the same. You have elite. They play by a set of rules, a different set of rules than others, only because they have more access to things. A lot of super rich, like when you get in Hollywood, things like that, they have more options to participate in, pleasurable activities, which really get to be very corrupt. So you have access to more because you're invited to more. But everyone's is just basically still the same. Everyone, you have to eat. You go to the bathroom. You know, and you have to sleep. When I go in these houses, they may be large, extravagant houses, but it's still the same thing. As you see, well, you have a living room, you have a kitchen, you have a bathroom. Everyone has a bathroom. It's the same. But they're nice homes, but they have the same problems that we do as far as relationships. I just one customer that uh, just did work for. They're getting it. Well, no, they're divorced now. You know, very wealthy, beautiful, huge house. Well, both of they had different houses. But anyway, everyone's the same. But see, you have individuals that want to present an image. Like Kevin Samuels was an image consultant. So you look. You're sitting there with a suit and you look nice or whatever. But it's just you got a jacket on. You know, in a shirt. It's no difference. You might have paid more for it, but it's still a shirt and a jacket and glasses. It's the same thing. If a lion came in that room, okay, you say a poor man was in the room, and then you got Kevin Samuels or some other rich man. All right, how would both men feel? You get a quick understanding of how much your money means, or in certain situations it means nothing. Like the Bible says, what good is it for a man to gain the whole world and lose his soul? After he gets super rich, but then hey, now it's over. It's all over. Now where are you going? You rejected all the things I told you, like to have a good family. If you have a good woman, treat your woman right. Treat her as you want to be treated. So that rules out cheating on her. Very said that's why Kevin Samuels don't want to hear anything about from Jesus or the Bible, because he knows that if you truly love your wife, like God commands us to do, and it also commands wives to love their husbands. Okay, so that rules out cheating for them because you're gonna do things that are beneficial to your mate. That you want to put a smile on their face. When you were dating, how you look, how you viewed your mate, someone you're excited to see. You surprise them because you just like doing good things, just with your children. You love seeing them happy. Especially when they're respectful. It's like you just want to give them the world, and that's the way a good marriage is. You just constantly want to please each other, and you get a lot of enjoyment out of that. And so that's the way the Bible teaches us to be. Um, if you adopt that mentality, it's like incredible. No one can break it. But in this society, of course, you have it. Excuse me. Um, the opposite is being taught. It's satanic. It's from him. Because he wants to break up families. And all this gender fluidity, all this stuff is everything that you're witnessing now. It's a deviation from traditional or Judeo-Christian values from the Creator. You see, uh, the narc perspective. Okay, let me read a few of these, and I'm gonna check out here. All right, sure. And women are prone to ride the CC, exercising their options as well, upgrading to the best horse on the carousel. Is that okay as well? I think you, Zach. Who are you asking that? Let me see. I think men are more prone to want multiple women, especially when they're young. Okay, now you said in answer you say, Eddie, yes, it's fine. That's what they always do. Oh, that's fine. Okay, you're being sarcastic. It's not fine, is it? Yeah, that's why West Society is in the toilet. Yeah, narc. Is that really you? I don't know. You're saying things that it don't sound like the narc perspective that I had at live streams with. All right, let me see here. Kevin Samuels. All right, wait a minute. Okay, there we go. Kevin Samuels simply showed us that many women do not desire or respect working men. Uh, yeah, okay, many. But I think a lot of them do though. I think a woman just wants, in general, she wants a man who's able to provide for the family. I mean, that doesn't have to be. You don't have to be rich to do that. They just want to be taken care of. Yeah, just like men, they want a woman that they're attracted to, and that is pleasing to uh, him. Wants to please him, is agreeable. I mean, she don't have to be a model, you know. There's let's say average woman, quote unquote average woman, because beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. But if that woman is pleasing to you, then hey, she's a 10, and you have a great relationship with her, and you're providing for the family. You're doing, you're feeding the family, you're clothing the family. You're trying to you set aside money for emergencies. You do the best you can, and everyone's happy. You have a good family. That's high value. Your children respect you. Your wife respects you. You respect them. You're faithful. That's a great life. Friends and family. All right. And friends, do you want disloyal friends? No. When you think of friends, you think of trustworthy friends who love you and are there for you when you need something or when you need help. They have your best interests at heart. You know, and then you have your family. Of course, is the same, but even on a more intimate level. That's what life is about: family and friends. Like the Bible says, the gift of God is that a man would work. Was it work hard and see the good for all his hard work? No, I'm sorry. Let me back up. The gift of God is that a man would eat and drink and see the good of all his hard work. So you see, we're designed to be hard workers, to eat and drink and enjoy life. Wine, right? He doesn't, he's against drunkenness, but drinking wine where you feel relaxed and cheerful, and you have company, with your friends and family. God, that's what God's is about, is having a good time, and everyone self controlled. We're not, we don't want you drinking too much wine where you're falling over each other, and they have no self control. So, eating and drinking, seeing the good for all your hard work. Friends and family, not uh, enemies. Associate with enemies and criminals, that want to rip your head off, or a wife that's sneaking around on you and trying to, you know, see how she can undermine everything you do. All right, Eddie, we accepted that. Yeah, such and such behavior is okay. Instead of teaching how it should be. All right, the narc. Let me see what you're gonna say, Eddie. No, it's not okay, but is what it is. You can't change it. Sure, you can. How you think fallen societies rise again? It takes strong, disciplined men to lead and teach new communities how things should be. What expectations and rules are we have of each other? That's a good point, because that's why guys with Mgtow are on here. Well, some guys, they're bringing attention to the way women are, but I would like to see more of teaching men to be strong, disciplined, men of moral character. But I think a lot of men don't want to hear that, and I think that's why Kevin Samuels or some people kind of stay away from it, because they feel like they feel like you're judging me. Well, yeah, we're judging you. We all judge each other constantly. That's how we meet certain standards. If we fall short of certain standards, then we become undesirable in various ways. So a man of moral character, what does that translate to? I mean, treating your family with love and concern. I mean, if you have a wife, you have kids, then you're expected, whether you believe in God or not, you're expected to treat your family a certain way. Instead of, let's say some man seeing you out in the with your son, you kicking your son down the street, or you slapping your wife around, beating them, and you don't provide. I don't know, different things. Think of different situations where you know that where people go to jail for their criminal activities against their children, or against their their uh, their mates. All right, so that's a man of low moral character, as we would define it. So that's why do we shy away from morals when we criticize women for their lack of morals, but we don't want to talk about it either. Sometimes, I'm not saying about everyone, but I've run across it enough to have to voice a complaint about it. And that's one thing that's one of the reasons why I kind of left too. It's like multiple reasons. I just kind of said, okay, I just need to take a break. Okay, the narc perspective, Eddie, it's already fallen. Nothing you or I can do to stop it. It's just understand what it is and keep moving. Uh, all right, but some people will change. When certain things are brought to their attention, both men and women. So there needs to be direction, like Eddie was saying, of what we should do. A lot of fathers are lacking in the homes, and so you just have a lot of a lack of direction. To men. I mean, girls and boys, men and women, and they learn from what they see on television, which, oh man, it's terrible. You want your daughters to grow up and be, I don't know, like some of you see these housewives of, housewives shows. I don't watch them. I remember them, the Kardashians. That's what you want your woman to be like, or think of some, I don't know, some, what you remember, Leave It to Beaver, some of those old shows. Or do you prefer Married with Children? That you know which family do you think was more harmonious and loving. Eddie, it's inevitable. Nature always self corrects. Uh, and then, Nark, you say even the scriptures say that a virtuous woman is basically non-existent. It's hard to find. They're rare. I mean, yeah, but this okay. There are plenty of virtuous women out there. Okay, but not now. I say plenty, meaning there are many, but they're not the majority of women. They're rare. Just like there's, diamonds are rare, but there are plenty of diamonds out there. And there are different virtuous women in the mentioned in the Bible. I mean, yeah. I think who mentioned Abraham? Did you mentioned Abraham? So I mean, Sarah is listed as one of the faithful women who died in faith. So she was righteous. She was virtuous, of course. And there are others, plenty of them. Mgtow Cowboy. You're late. What happened? Okay, wait a minute. Let me scroll down. There's a lot of comments I don't see. I'm sorry. Okay, hello, Mgtow Cowboy. All right. I can call in 20 minutes. What? 20 minutes. All right. What time would that be? Are you still there? Hold on a second. Because I'm about ready to go in a little bit here. All right. Let me see. That's okay. That's why new communities come about the narc perspective. You can't negotiate with the fallen one. That's done for sure. But men set up new ones with those willing to cooperate. Eddie, tell me where those new communities are. Historically, that's always been the case. Any fallen society, civilization has been reborn after some time period. Eddie, in Western society, it's mostly in secluded religious groups. Okay. Hey, Tiger C, nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a long time. Well, I haven't been on here so much, but yeah, I haven't seen you in a long time anyway. Yeah, thanks a lot. I'm making some content, but I'm still here and there right now. Yeah, I'll just make some videos to talk about a couple of things. Eddie, not an answer for everyone. Obviously, that's why new communities are needed. It will take time. The narc. But he never told me men to cheat. He simply said that the kind of men women want typically do cheat. All right. Do you actually believe that? All right. Answer me this, narc. This question: did Kevin Samuels condone cheating for men? I mean, I think the answer is very clear in this video here, the part of that video that I showed you. It seems like you're in denial about some things. I don't know. I can tell you this. You certainly are you are a Kevin Samuels fan. I'll tell you that. I can see that you are. So does that mean are you just going to defend him even when maybe one of his points fall flat? Will you still defend him? This is that's the type of thing that never mind. Okay, Eddie, true. Oops. True, but that's still excusing that behavior. Okay, yep. Essentially, he was saying, yep, those guys will have their cake and eat it too. Accept it. Okay, yeah. I've heard other videos. Well, I think this one actually condoned it though. He condones it. If he didn't, he wouldn't be able to. He wouldn't. Let me see. He he would be afraid to speak against it, and I don't think he would, as a believer, which he claimed to be, he would not prohibit any religious. Um, I'm sorry, I'm always lost for words. Talking about it from a religious perspective at all. Okay, he said that, and then he also didn't want to hear anything from Jesus or the Bible or that God had to say. All right, so why not? Okay, all right, because in Narc you say because they will have their cake and eat it too. They always have since recorded history, bro. You're not gonna change that. Even Jesus himself couldn't do it. Why do you think Kevin can? You said, okay, you talking about men cheating? You say God, Jesus couldn't do it. Is no, Jesus can do it, right? But that's not what he's the what he does. God gives us a choice. Just like if you have like I said, if you have a product and you give an instruction manual, if you love the product, you're eager to read it and find out how. I mean, what you need to do, how you need to care for it, so you can get the most out of it. And the person who gave it to you, who gave you the gift, is not it's not their responsibility to come over there and maintain it for you. They're not going to do that. You have the power. He gives it to you to do it. Now he could come over and run it, take care of your product himself. He could, but he gave it to you. So eventually, what God's going to do, as you know, the Bible says God's just going to weed out everyone who is against loving their neighbor as themselves, because loving your neighbor as yourself, it causes you to do certain things, and it causes you to um, avoid doing certain things. It just because you just do it out of love. Anyone who loves their child or their mate, they just don't do certain things. Their mate or their children is constantly on their mind, especially if you're married. Okay, your mate's on your mind, or you just like see them all the time, uh, and you make decisions based on that. There could be a woman, your wife's not around, but a woman is showing her interest in you, but all you see is your wife. You know, you say, nope, I wouldn't do that. I wouldn't do that to hurt my wife or other things. It's many different things. You make decisions, uh, even picking a meal sometimes. They say, well, I know he or she doesn't like that, so let me get this. Let me bring this home. Let me try to make some kind of compromise. So you constantly do things like that. And if you have a person that reciprocates, that does the same, then it's very easy to get along, and you will experience different things because you're willing to do something or involve yourself in something that you normally don't participate in, such as a different sport or just something that you're not interested in, that your wife may be interested in, that means a lot to her. And so you'll participate for that reason alone. And then you might find that you enjoy it. You may find out you don't, but you still do it just for her, and vice versa. She does the same thing, and it makes you um, grow closer. Your love deepens. So this is the type of things that God tells us the way we are to treat each other, with that type of moral character and tenderness. You know, and so you have a lot more successful marriage. This needs to be taught. What we should do, and some people will do it. They will be happy that someone identified it and brought it to their attention, because they say, "Oh man, we have been doing things wrong. We're looking at each other in the wrong way." And some people just don't want to be miserable, and they do want to be married. They don't want to break. They don't want their marriage to break up, and so they're willing to take those steps to adjust and change, and they reap the benefits. I've had some ladies on here that have come to my older channel that said that they rejected feminism, and they saw their marriages improved, and they sound pretty happy. Because so you have a lot of ladies out there who are deceived. Okay, and so we can help wake them up. There's a lot of men also deceived, so we can help wake them up, so they don't have to be. We don't want to be bitter. You know, we can be frustrated. It's disappointing, but you don't want to be bitter. Okay, Eddie. Let me read these comments here again. What I'm saying is, in referring to creating new communities, is that you set it up with people who cooperate. Uh, Mgtow Cowboy. Yeah, you're here. You can call in. I left it. Oh, let me put the link back again. Okay, it's at the top of it's at the beginning. But we got to do it kind of briefly because I didn't remember I told you I'll come on brief. I didn't have much time. I'm over right now, but I do want to talk to you. Hold on a second. Because yeah, there's a couple of points that I wanted to say as far as the reason I believe we're hold on. Let me put this thing up. Hold on a second. Okay, Mgtow Cowboy. I guess when you come in, we gotta try to get to the point. I want to read these other ones here. Sigma Bachelor. Hey, hello. Corey Steele. Yeah, I didn't see all these comments down here yet. Kevin Samuels would have pushed the poor man towards the line. Yeah, he's high value. You're expendable. Regular man is expendable. He's like a pawn. In our perspective, he does, but men will do it anyway, and no amount of doctrine will ever change that. Okay, read Esther, Villar, the manipulated man. All right, I can call in the 15 minutes right now. All right, here you are. Hello.
Yes, hello. Is this Mr. Lundy?
Yes, it is. I was about to make a joke, but no. Yes, it is. How are
Mr.
you?
Lundy. It's a pleasure to speak with you again. I'm good.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, it's nice. Pleasure to speak with you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I must apologize. When we had communicated earlier, I think you said that you were pushing it back to 9 p.m. However,
Right.
I failed to ask you if it was going to be 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm 9 Central. I jumped
Oh,
on your
okay.
stream. Yeah, I'm not sure. I
Okay.
forgot where you live. Uh, do you live in New York?
Yeah.
Or
Eastern. Yeah,
it
Eastern
was
time.
Eastern time. I thought I remember
Yeah.
you lived east of me. I'm sorry. That's my fault.
Now it's both of us. We should have just asked that. Yeah. We just both forgot to ask that. Yeah. So we'll remember next time.
For certain, for certain. I have not seen or spoken with you in a while. It's probably been, well, I mean, you had made a video. I caught your last couple of videos, but you it seems like you took a small hiatus from making content for a while.
Yeah. Yeah. I just had some I don't know, some change of views or a little different perspective. Uh some disappointment or uh, yes, disappointment from seeing certain things or the conditions that exist now, or in the way that the mind or the mentality, is heading, you know. So
Sure, I would
I'll make
think.
I'll make some videos, but I guess it's really nothing different or new, but it's just for me personally, there were some new revelations or realizations that I come to in a different from a different angle. I don't know. I'm trying to explain how I feel inside. But okay, now there was two instances, at least two instances in my life that made a big impact on me, and I had to take um, a break. Okay, like when I realized that the cult I was in was false. Okay, that I was lied to all my life. So your whole life changes. Um,
Sure.
your family, different things. Okay, so that was another hit. Then the next hit that I had was when I found out. Okay, I was doing really well. I was making money. I was around people who had money. Then I realized, let me see, I didn't really see any difference. It was like a dead end. It was like a joke to me. Because then I saw like people who they would love their money. Um, some, let me see, well, how can I say it?
Weren't you also divorced? I imagine that was a very pivotal point in your life.
Uh, yeah, but that doesn't. Okay, I'll put it this way. You just mentioned those, but as far as like a changing point in my life that hit me as hard as what I'm talking about, those didn't fall in that category.
Okay.
Because I guess it's I'm not saying it didn't affect me in a big way, but for me, um, yeah, finding out the lie, because it's a larger perspective that you see the whole world a different way. You see what I'm
Sure.
saying?
It
Okay,
fundamentally changed the way you think.
right. Okay, so then, all right. Okay, to make a long story short, okay, I was around people who had money. Then what I began to wonder is who controls the world? Who controls money? Because everyone is after money, money, money. All right. So I wonder
Right.
who is at the top of it? Who controls money? Who controls the world? Okay. So I did my research and I found out, all right, how the world works. That's what we try to say in my videos. Because if a person doesn't have their perspective and realize the reality of how the world actually works, then they're constantly deceived. Um, they don't understand things. They limit their uh, just like this thing with Mgtow. Okay, with Mgtow, things we talk about is true. Okay, but I think it comes a time where okay, you're talking about these women and you're talking about the mentality, but who deceived them and where is that coming from and why? Because it's all real. So do you want to know where it comes from? And why? Or you just want to sit around and complain about, the situation that we have? How can we change it? How can we as men continue to get out from under the deception that we've been under? Because a lot of us were deceived by women, things that we thought about women, you
Sure.
know. So now we realize something different. It was, instead we have this big wake up. Yeah, and so why stop there? Because they're only a pawn. They don't know. They don't
Well,
really.
I hear what you're saying. I think I've gone down the same kind of rabbit hole. So I called in right now because I wanted to make 2 points specifically about Kevin Samuels. Right, I wanted to debate you concerning Kevin Samuels. I essentially wanted to make the case. Number one, I wanted to talk about the width, the scope and width of his reach. That's
Mhm.
the first point I wanted to make. I wanted to talk about how uh, in a way, in a way, even though he wasn't Mgtow, he was sort of pushing Mgtow ideas further and wider than anyone I can think of anyway. And I made a video
Mhm.
talking all about this. And then the second thing I wanted to talk about is how I think he was pro marriage. I was listening, so I was a little late, but right around like 8:55 p.m. My time, I clicked on your link and I've been listening to you. You were saying things like, "Oh, Kevin Samuels, he's teaching these women these things that are bad for families," and I think I disagree with that, and I think he's just very pragmatic. That's all, and I wanted to discuss that.
No,
Um, I'm sorry.
let me
Go
just
ahead.
interject something. I was primarily saying that about the men. I think he teaches the men what's more destructive on their end.
Well, see, and I agree with that, and I think, but that's okay though. That was a good thing because unfortunately, I think that we're in a gender war. So I think that men and women are in a gender war that that you could say the elites have fomented, and then the women have picked up. And so right now, women are sort of on the warpath against men, and how can I put it? The men, they have to react in some way. I tell men that at the very least they should be in a defensive position, but I go on to say that I think that men should take an offensive position, and that's what red pill or MGTOW is. We should be we should be communicating with other men and essentially mobilizing a defense against what we see as what's going on, women and them passing laws and them taking away increasingly men's freedom, um, and of course, giving themselves more and more money, more and more, money,
Mhm.
power, essentially legislating themselves into a privileged class.
Okay, so are you saying that because there's a gender war and the government is pretty much behind women, um, that men should feel that they have the right to cheat and if they're in a relationship with a woman.
Yes. Yes. In
Really?
fact, I'd go, yes. In fact, I'd go so far. I wouldn't even use the word cheat. I think you're onto something. It's like if this was a sailboat, uh, men are being told to sail east, but you just turned the tide. You just pulled us. Yes. So
Okay, define cheat. What is cheat?
right,
When we say
right.
cheat, what does that mean to you?
Yeah, no, I was going to use an analogy of sailing, how you can take, if you want to go a certain direction, you can take a different tack. Or it's called tacking. But I'll just get straight to the point. Basically, cheating is wrong. Okay, and I think that Kevin Samuels knew that. I think that he didn't really like cheating. I think, however, we have to move beyond the idea of even cheating, and we have to see this again. I'll just say it again. I'll reiterate it again. We're in a gender war, so there's no cheating in war. There's no cheating. They say all's fair in love and war. When you're defeating an enemy, you're not cheating if you figured out a better way to defeat them.
Oh, okay.
Um,
All right.
so what I'm saying is right now, there is no marriage. Marriage is completely out of the question for any man who has even one bone of self-preservation, one inkling of self-preservation in his body. We're in a gender war. Any man that gets married right now is a fool because of the laws. It's that
Okay.
simple. So
All
I'm
right.
sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. I like this. Okay. All right, because you made a few points. I want to chime in. All right. You said, okay. I think in my opinion, you're using uh, you're reacting in two different contexts where I think it doesn't apply. Okay. You said we're in a gender war. All right. And so that
Yeah,
gives men.
how about this? Let me lay out my case not in 10 or 20 seconds, but in like 60 seconds. I'm going to say a lot of different things, then we could start from there. There's two
Well,
major points I
well,
wanted to make. I'm
okay.
sorry, go ahead.
Well, okay. Let me finish this because
Okay.
I thought you made a point, but I mean you could do it again. But let me just say this real quick, okay?
Yeah, yeah, go ahead.
I think that you saying that we're in a gender war provides men or excuses men to be able to cheat in their marriages. All right. So I just think that if you're saying that, I think it's two different contexts because you may not be in a gender war with your wife. You're in a marriage where you both, you know, made certain promises or commitments to one another. So I don't think that because society's in a gender war that married men should cheat on their wives. I just if that's what you're saying, I disagree with that. What's your case?
Okay, so to reiterate, so ultimately at this point, I can say I agree with you. Mr. Lundy. You're right. You're completely correct. At the end of the day, right? Men should not be cheating on their wives, and wives should not be cheating on their husbands. But
Mm-hmm.
guess what? They are doing that. Number one. Number two, um, when a man is found to be cheating on his wife,
Mm-hmm.
we still hold the man to account. For example, my father, I talk about it all the time. He was caught cheating, lost his house. He lost
Mm-hmm.
his house. He lost two multi-unit investment properties. He lost everything. He was
Mm-hmm.
completely. The court cleaned his clock completely. And
Mm-hmm.
sorry to say the court should have. Men should pay for cheating. I have no problem with that. My problem is when women are caught cheating, they're not held accountable. For example, I've said it 100 times. I'll say it again. My stepmother was caught cheating on my father. She never lost her house. She never suffered any punitive damages. And so there's this double standard, and this is the double standard that I'm talking about, where men are held to account, and if men mess up, we make them pay. But for some reason, and we know why, because the feminists have come in, they've changed all the laws. When a woman is caught engaging in some sort of whatever sexual impropriety or whatever, it could be financial, anything, we let them off easy. So I'm sorry. So let me start by laying out my platform. So you wanted to talk about Kevin Samuels. There's two things I wanted to say. First, I wanted to talk about Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels, he was very, very good for the Mgtow community, the Red Pill community. just the reach, the reach that he has was immense. In fact, I'm sorry to say this, I actually think that he may have been murdered. You know, when I think of, okay, besides Kevin Samuels, who was possibly the biggest? Okay, this is already old news. This is a couple weeks ago. Mr. Lundy, have you ever heard of a gentleman by the name of TD Jakes? TD Jakes?
Oh yeah.
Okay,
Yes.
I don't know what you think of him, but you know, I like him more than I dislike him. A couple weeks ago,
Okay.
he made a video, and he finally came out against what you could call women. And he was saying a lot of these women. I saw the video. It had, at this point, I think it has over 700,000 or 800,000 views on YouTube. He was talking about women, and he was saying, you know, these women are out of control. The women want to be like men now, and this is disrupting. It's coming in between men and women. What's that?
The first things foremost, you got to understand. It has to get bad. It has to be. They have to be out of control, and it has to get bad. It has to get so bad.
It has to get so bad. I agree.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
That's
where I am.
Person. That's only one person.
I think Red Pill. I think Red Pill in the win. He's with me. He agrees with me. We're beyond reconciliation.
Okay, but I'm not. Okay, but I'm not talking.
To get bad. Well, I'm saying is it has to get bad for women, so bad that women say something.
Right.
Okay. Yeah, I think we're talking in two different contexts. I hear what I know what y'all are saying, but I say y'all are like bridging.
Right. I'm sorry. That's because it's almost like we're skipping chapters in a book. Okay. So the first thing I wanted to say, I just wanted to say that about Kevin Samuels. His reach, it wasn't in the millions. At one point, I think he had over 3 million subscribers. You know, that's why I brought up TD Jakes. TD Jakes, he's huge. And his video didn't even have 1 million views. I think right now, you could look up that video. It has maybe 700, 800,000 views. That's a lot. So the point, I'm sorry, I was trying to compare TD Jakes to Kevin Samuels. TD Jakes is big, but Kevin Samuels was massive. And if he had 3 million subscribers, he had way more people watching him than just 3 million. There were many people. Basically, his reach was worldwide. Tens of millions of people have heard his message, the message of Mgtow, the message of Red Pill, because of him. And they otherwise would not have heard any of that. Okay, that's the first point I want to make. The second point I want to make is I want to say that I believe Kevin Samuels was pro-marriage, and he was actually pro-traditional values. There are many examples. I'll just give just one. Have either of you gentlemen ever heard of a guy called what is it, Dennis, or what is it, Sperling? I can't remember his first name. Sperling, Dennis Sperling.
I'm not. It seems like I've heard that name, but I don't know, who it is.
Okay, he's
sort of sounds familiar.
He's become real big. I'm subscribed to him. I mean, he's I think he's Nation of Islam, which I don't particularly jive with, but
I'm not a fan of Nation. Well,
okay. I
don't know what he was saying. You said that we were both, excuse me, given the abridged version, right? I'm gonna like me. Absolute knowledge goes in a different way. It goes a different way. I lack tact. I literally, my words come out like a sledgehammer. Absolute knowledge knows this.
I'm less worried about that, and I'm more worried that you're starting to show your face now. Someone in your office is going to see that, and then they're going to complain, and then you're going to get fired. You're going to get fired. But whatever. That's. I'm sorry to finish that point. I wanted to bring up the example of Dennis Sperling. Dennis Sperling is kind of you could say he kind of blew up a couple months ago. He's got a channel. I don't know. I think he's got over 100,000 subscribers. He's a real big content creator in what you can call the Black Manosphere. Well, guess what? He's a very wealthy lawyer, and he personally approached Kevin Samuels. Kevin Samuels helped him find a wife, and to this day, he's married. Dennis Sperling is married. So the point I'm trying to make is Kevin Samuels, I believe he did want strong marriages between men and women. And so I use Dennis Sperling as an example. Okay. However, I also think that Kevin Samuels, and this is now I'm going to change tack. Now I'm going to sort of change the subject and start going off in a different direction.
Okay,
I believe that Kevin. Oh, I'm sorry.
Let me hold your thought. But I just want to ask you this, and then just go right on. Is Dennis Sperling a high value man, quote unquote?
Yes.
Okay.
He's probably one of the lead.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Okay, yeah.
Okay, go ahead, finish your point.
Yeah, he's a big name. He's the big name in SYSBM. You can look him up, Dennis Sperling. He's a multimillionaire. He's a lawyer. Anyway, yeah. So, Kevin Samuels. Now he that's what he wants. He wants women and men to be together and to be happy. Sure, he wants that. And in this sort of idyllic or at least better world, right? You're right, Mr. Lundy. Men are not to cheat on their wives. Wives are not to cheat on their husbands. However, I think that Kevin Samuels was pragmatic enough to understand that we are in a gender war, and he spoke to that. He was saying these women are totally out of control. These women are completely entitled. They think they all deserve like Mr. Prince billionaire, and they need to rein in their sense of entitlement, and that's what he spoke on from my understanding.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but that's not what I'm addressing.
What exactly are you addressing?
Red pill, did you? I think I already stated it. It's he condoned infidelity for quote unquote high value men, which is destructive to marriages.
But
I've never seen that. What can you talk? Can you illustrate that for a second? Was there an actual video where he said, if you are a man, if you are married and you're rich, cheat all you want? Did he say that?
No, he did not. Here's what I want to say this. When you have an abundance of choice, you don't typically want, we are innately designed as human beings to not settle down with one choice if we have an abundance of choices. Now, many, and even today, even in this day and age, many men and women are not raised to have the discipline to stick with one choice. It's like a kid in a candy store. It was like a lot of these men and women are like kids in candy stores when it comes to women, especially the high value men. It's like it's a candy store to them.
Okay, what I'm saying is,
getting back to that point,
should be.
Okay,
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay, getting back to that point, you asked me. Okay, because I said that, or you don't believe he condoned infidelity. Okay, I let some of this video play that you see up here, but one of his quotes is, "High value men don't cheat; they just have more options." And he said things like this along other thing where high values men don't cheat; they exercise their options. It's not even cheating.
Right. All right.
So okay, wait a minute. So when a young man hears that, okay, is he hearing that it's okay for him to cheat, or is Kevin Samuels condemning it?
No. From everything I've heard you say right now, again, you're saying you're using the term high value men.
Question is,
there's a difference. There's a difference between a high value. I'm sorry. There's a difference between a high value man having options and a married man cheating on his wife, right?
Right. Yes, there is. Now, question. When you say that young man, what status is that young man coming off of? What status is the young man? Is the young man already built his life, or is the young man still trying to build his life, still trying to find out how his Johnson works, on how is he still trying to, is the young man, can a young man count the hairs on his goddamn gonads with one hand?
Okay, no,
this is where I'm going. This is where I'm going with this. There's a place that I'm going. There's a place.
Okay, the question. Okay, go ahead.
The thing is, a young man, unless his daddy has money. The young man does not. I mean, does typically either A doesn't know how, doesn't really, barely is basically just gonna hit at the hottest clubs until he runs out of daddy's money, or he's B gonna have been taught by his father. There's a difference between daddy and father. He's going to be taught by his father to have discipline, to play the field, to find the best woman suited for him.
Hmm.
That's what a term that the 80, 90, the 80%, the 80-20 rule. That's where the 80% gets the leftovers from. You know?
Hmm.
That's where the 80% get the leftovers. That's what it is. It's like the young man either A has the discipline to play the field to find the best woman, or B is just gonna take the advice of the old bull, walk down the mountain, walk down the hill to the pasture, and screw all the cows.
All right, and
You
so
know?
it'd be while he's sowing his wild oats on all these willing women,
Exactly.
would he be likely to find a virtuous woman among those?
It'd be difficult, but
Okay, so
but the
so
thing
why
is
sow his
like
wild oats?
it takes time. It takes time.
But I'm saying, yeah, okay, all right, but okay, what I want to get back to, like the high value men. You said they don't cheat, and okay, you separated it from high value, his quote unquote high value men cheating on their wives versus them having options, and you kind of separated it, Cowboy. What do you mean by that?
Right. Okay. So, okay. For example, so I saw earlier. I'll just reiterate it. I saw earlier the title of the video that you're playing in the top left corner. It doesn't say. It doesn't stipulate married men. It says high value men. There's a difference between a man who's high value and a man who's married, who also may or may not happen to be high value. So I don't. I have never heard. I have watched several of Kevin Samuels's videos or his content. I've never heard him make any sort of statement saying it is okay categorically for a man who is married to cheat on his wife. I have never heard him say that. I
Okay,
have heard him say,
no,
if you're a man, become wealthy. If you're a
yeah,
man, figure out a way to become high value. And once you do that, you can have your pick of the litter. That
okay,
my understanding is that's not cheating.
all right. Okay, now if you rename it, okay, because he's renamed what amounts to cheating on your wife. He calls it exercising your options. Men don't cheat; they exercise their options. All right. So what he's doing is saying he's denying that these men cheat on their wives, and he's just
I'm gonna
calling
give
it
you
no,
a
they're
perfect.
just exercising their options.
I'm gonna
So
Well,
give you a
when
perfect
I'm
example.
sorry.
okay,
I'm sorry. I've never seen him say anything like that. At this point,
oh
I
I
would
have
suggest. Are you
oh I,
possibly conflating? Are you possibly conflating, or are you possibly mixing these two ideas together without any evidence?
no,
I'm going.
I'll post more videos. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
give
have
you a
evidence.
perfect example. I'm gonna give you an example.
Okay.
Will Smith is
Okay.
a high value man.
All right.
Now, Will Smith, he had check valve syndrome on his eyes. He saw one woman. He saw Jada Pickett. He lived through good, through bad, through whatever, yada yada yada. Even though there's rumors that she's been ran through by Tupac, he saw her and her only.
Okay.
Fresh from the beginning, Fresh Prince of Bel Air, Big Willie style. The whole music industry, the whole acting industry, the comic, the action, the Men in Black, freaking Independence Day. He
Hmm.
saw one woman. If he would have exercised his options, now I'm not going to say that would have made a difference, but he would have a wider spectrum, and he has a wider spectrum of what's out there, and not dealing with one woman, not
Uh.
having check valvitis. He might have
Well.
found somebody better than Jada. You know, that's what they mean. But he wasn't married. And if he wasn't married, right now, what is he dealing with? A son with mental illness, a a couple sons with mental problems. One son don't want to talk, is rumored not to want to talk to him. A daughter with mental illness, a ruined acting career, and goodness knows what. You know.
And okay, now what is your point as far as how, unless I missed it, as far as how
Will Smith could have done better.
okay.
Will
All
Smith could have
right.
done better.
Okay. I agree. But
A lot
now
better.
for men now, I think from what I hear that their marriage is like open, right?
Yeah, exactly. That's the problem.
That's the
the problem.
problem.
That's the problem.
Why is that a problem?
The problem is when you're on an open anything. Put your would you leave your laptop unencrypted with billions of dollars worth of information unlocked at a coffee shop
No.
in the
Good
middle of
point.
Seattle?
Good point. No.
Same point. I would never, like I said, I don't want, basically, that is inviting goodness knows what into your house. That
All
is
right.
inviting dirt into your house.
All
That
right. So
is,
you
and
okay?
it's like, so basically, if she catches a disease and turn around and bangs you, or basically says she's burning, you
Hmm.
can't screw for 3 to 6 months or for the rest of her life.
Okay. Now
You know,
you right. All right. So you believe like marriage being open ended or is not good.
it's dangerous because
Okay.
not only you bringing
I agree.
disease in your house, you're bringing other mentalities into your house. You know,
Yeah, I agree. All right, so I mean, I don't. This is why I don't understand why men who understand this very clearly, and they know that I want to deny
they get
that
the brain sucked out of the Johnson. They get, you know,
If I may, this is a perfect time
that
to butt in, and you say you don't understand. I can tell you right now
I didn't finish my
because
thought. No,
oh,
no,
okay,
no.
okay.
You gotta let me finish. We gotta finish our thoughts. Now, I was saying I don't understand. Okay, understand when they'll make excuses or deny that Kevin Samuels, what that some of his counsel help destroy families rather than build them. If you agree that having where marriage is open, where the husband can cheat or exercise his options, then it's destructive to that family arrangement for the reasons that Red Pill what some of the reasons that Red Pill stated. I agree with him.
either, like I said, either party with open ended marriage is destructive. You know,
Yeah,
either party, male or female, it's destructive.
and
You know,
right, Mgtow, what were
because
you about to
what
say?
happens when the little John Jimmy hat breaks?
Mm,
You know,
yeah.
then what?
Right. Those just keep it. If you marry, I don't. If you marry, why do these guys marry for what? If you're gonna have a whole bunch of ladies, you're already having them before you're married. So what's the point of getting married?
Right? The thing is,
Mgtow Cowboy, did you lose your thought?
No, not at all. So I just to so I mean that is really the crux of my argument. So we're essentially so now we're agreeing with each other. So what I'm saying is basically what you just said. It's like, wait a minute, if what what's the whole point of all this? What's the whole point of marriage? The whole point of marriage is supposed to be this the man gives up something, the woman gives up something. It's a compromise, a grand compromise. The man the man exchanges his time, his money, his effort, his resources, his utility, everything. And what does he exchange? What does the woman exchange? Well, the woman exchanges all those things too, but she's also supposed to also exchange exclusive sexual access to her body, and only the man is supposed to have rights to that. Well, for some reason, the women are essentially at war with the men right now, and they're saying, no, we don't like that arrangement. Even if we marry you, we want the ability to cheat on you without any accountability. You can call it an open marriage if you want. You can call it whatever you want. But and so that's what's happening. And so if that's the point, if that's what's happening, then what's the point of getting married?
Exactly.
And
No. Okay, but that's the reason I was saying was a point of getting married for these quote unquote high value men who cheat on their wives. I said, what's the point of that's my point. I might have not been clear, but I was saying, what's the point for these guys if they already have a lot of women, then you get married, you cheat on your wife, who may divorce you because of that, then you lose your stuff. So it's like, why? What's the point of them getting married if they're going to cheat on their wives? You know, it's like
right.
you have all the women. You can still have them. So why put yourself
to get access to more women? Women, to get access to more women.
You said that's the reason they should get married?
No. I'm not saying that's the reason. That's the reason they do get married. Many of them do get married.
Oh, okay.
I mean, they know the psychology. They know they understand the psychology.
But that's dangerous. Women,
yeah.
Right.
The only reason some of the people walk in a club with a bar with a wedding ring on their hand is to pick up chicks.
Yeah, you're right. You're right, because you get hit on if you're married.
Exactly.
That's true. But I think that's kind of it's kind of foolish for a quote unquote high value man who has a lot to do that if he's really getting, because he knows a lot of women are gold diggers anyway. So why? I just don't see why they would get married and put themselves at risk to lose everything. I mean, not everything, but half of their stuff. You know, when you're still going to go out there treat on your wife because
they got it to lose.
Because she might initially agree that let's say you did. I don't know how many people agree in the beginning of their marriage to say that that the man can go out with women. I don't know how. I'm sure it happens, but I don't know how much it happens. But if it did happen, you may still have a woman who might agree with it in the beginning, but then y'all are going along might be having a great time, and then the person goes out and cheats, and then she may have a change of mind, feel a different way, and become very vindictive.
And that's where communication breakdown happens.
That's where another marriage breaks up, though, but due to infidelity. That's my only point. That's my only point.
That's all it is. Yeah, but that's all it is communication breakdown.
Yeah, I want to read this part.
Well, sorry about that. I'm gonna let you finish.
No. Go, you finish. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, the thing is, first off, it's like if she says that it's okay for him to go run around, jump on every goddamn llama, and all of a sudden she want to get mad about the llama he's jumping on. Well, that she should basically make it clear that hey, maybe you should maybe you should chill back instead of doing 25 llamas a week. Maybe you do like 3 or 4 llamas a week. That's what I mean. First off, they never communicated. She didn't communicate that. She didn't communicate her personal grievances, her personal gripes.
I think this type of thing, it would always have problems, even if you reach an agreement on such and such, because you're inviting other people in, and there's a lot of emotions. If you have one relationship, the dynamics of that, where you have to deal with on different subjects and disagreements on different things. But then you're in addition, you're inviting other people in with all their drama and their emotion, and you don't think that even if you are operating within the parameters that you agreed, there's emotional problems that may enter. Where she doesn't like this. It's just so many different scenarios where this is just destructive to a marriage, a man and a woman with raising kids, children, where I think children themselves like seeing mom and dad together. See mom and dad being affectionate to one another, and he knows that if he sees dad being affectionate to another woman or mom being affectionate to another man, that doesn't look right. He doesn't like that.
Right. And
I think that go ahead.
It is what it is. It's like that's what causes problems with children. That's the problem. Some of the problems what we're having right now is like they seen dad back. They're working on dad banging the housemaid or banging the mistress, or banging auntie,
Right. Yeah. Well, we know all the scenarios. Yeah.
Yeah.
My only point, is just that I believe that if two people, you know, look after each other's interests, where they constantly try not to hurt the other individual, they constantly try to treat the other person as they want to be treated, then things go well. When you're out there, just being selfish and not having any self control and disregarding the feelings of your mate, whether man or woman, it's just destructive to their relationship. Just like if you have a friendship's different than marriage, but it's still there are points in the friendship where you can be tested as far as your loyalty. How much you care about this person, what you're willing to do to um, uh, not make them feel uncomfortable when it's unnecessary. It's and you both do that for each other. You know, I, yeah,
Loyalty, and
loyalty, right,
boundaries, and the
right,
respecting.
loyalty and boundaries, right, right. Yep.
Right.
Thank you.
Sure. Okay. So
And
again, just to reiterate again. So
Mhm.
I agree with everything you just said. But what's the problem? I'll just reiterate. I'll just say it again. The problem is the women. The women. It's the women. Women are at war. Women are trying to overthrow women. You said it earlier, right? In the Bible, it says, "What is it? A woman is to obey her. A woman is to obey her husband. A man is
Mhm.
to love his wife."
Right.
Women don't want to obey men. Women want to
True.
be the boss. Women want to be the boss now.
Right. You're right.
And this has not been, and well, but there's
Many
still
of them,
some
most of
men,
them. Yeah.
there are still men like us who are holdouts who don't put up with this. We're not going to just say, oh, okay, you want to run my life now just because you're a woman, and feminism tells you that you're supposed to be the boss and I'm supposed to be subservient and I'm supposed to acquiesce to everything you say. And oh,
Mhm.
okay, sure. No, there's a lot of men like you or me or maybe Red Pill in the Wind or others who say, no, 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 I can still be a sovereign. I can still be in control of my own life.
Mhm.
And
Right.
that's what I see. That's what I think is going on. So
Yeah. Yeah. I
armed with
agree.
armed with all this information, what's in the final analysis, basically, again, going back to Kevin Samuels, Kevin
Mhm.
Sam, again, the first thing I said was Kevin Samuels. His reach was great. I cannot think of any Mgtow and or Red Pillar that had a larger reach than him. I'm talking about the tens of millions of people, possibly even more. Definitely in multiple countries. Many people
they
saw his content. Number two, he basically realized what I'm saying, that yes, it's true. We're supposed to be for the best functioning, for the ideal functioning of society, especially for children, as you said, Mr. Lundy. It's good to have a mother father setup. However, because of all these women, again, it's not the men. Not the men did not want this. The men did not want this, but the women want this right now because the women are not submitting to the men. Because the women want to be the boss. Because the women have all
Mhm.
these high flown expectations. He's got to make at least six figures. He's got to be a big boss. Um, the women don't want us anymore, right? The
Oh.
women don't want us
Okay.
anymore. And he, what's his name, Kevin Samuels, basically said that. He said if you're women, he basically
Okay.
said women
Mm.
women don't want you, but if you become a high value man, then they're going to want you. And if they want you
Okay.
and you're a high value man,
Mhm.
have your pick at the litter because the women, they're at war with us anyway. But if
All
you
right.
find one, and then finally, I'll say that I think
Mhm.
that Kevin Samuels also recognized that if you're a high value man and you happen to find a decent woman, yes, you should get married. And that's what he did with this. That's what he did with Dennis Sperling. He found Dennis Sperling, a conservative woman, and he hooked the two of them up. As my understanding is that Dennis Sperling found his wife
Mhm.
from Kevin Samuels, and they're still
Okay.
married. So,
Okay. All right. Now I'd like to make a point. All right. All right. Now, so what I'm hearing is, okay, this is what I separate. Okay. I know that the condition of most women these days, okay, they're all the things you just stated, gender war and all of that. Okay, that does not negate other women who don't subscribe to those views. Okay, so what I'm saying is that when a person gets married to a good woman, like you say, okay, now you said he match made her with, match made him with a conservative woman, okay, as if she's a good woman. All right. So that doesn't translate when you finally get a good woman, okay, although you still have this gender war out there, you don't it's not a gender war with your wife. So it's like, how are you to treat your wife who is not giving you all these problems? Are you supposed to be uh, faithful with her and to keep the marriage closed? Or just because there's a gender war going on outside, that you can still, just because you're a quote unquote high value man, exercise options on your wife who is not like the others.
Here's how you handle
So
this.
okay, let me just finish this last
Uh-huh.
point. So what I'm saying is that yes, Kevin Samuels had a wide reach, but his reach taught men, especially young men, he got this in their mind that they have the right to cheat when they reach a certain status. And I'm gonna show you different videos where he said that, because there was another person that came on here where they said, because they remember too. He says, I got, here it is. He says, I got options, but do not cheat. Okay, it's called self control. Kevin did say high value men can cheat. Yes, yeah, it was repeated. I'll bring some more proof of that. Okay, since I think I think he says those things very clear, but again, I think some men just don't want to acknowledge that because it's very clearly destructive to families. As I know,
And
especially based on what you said, Red Pill. All right, go ahead. What you were going to
here's
do?
here. You were saying that how is the man? We know that there's a war going on outside the household, but the woman is treating in the household is treating us with respect. It's gonna break it down into a few points.
Okay.
Basically treat her with respect because she's not bringing the war into the house. Treat her as she would like to be treated, or basically, she's the only person that has a voice in your house. I mean, you know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
she's basically your wife or her husband, and basically you basically look out for, and she's looking out for you. You're looking out for her, and it's but the second point is take care of home first. If you
Mhm.
take care of home first, it doesn't matter how bad how nuclear this gender war outside the house is going. You've basically got a place in your house that this
Mhm.
place that the gender these war can't penetrate. You
Right,
know.
right. Yeah, keep that. Yep, yep.
Well,
I
okay,
agree.
so I would
Now,
stop you there. I would stop you there, and I'd say I
Hold,
disagree.
ideally,
well,
Because you say that.
hold on.
I
MGTOW
was getting ready to get to the
MGTOW
next
Cowboy.
part.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was
Sorry,
getting
Hold.
ready to get into the
go
next
ahead.
part.
Sorry,
Give me a
sorry.
second. But
Okay.
like, so you know there's a war, but on the occasion that she brings it into your house,
Mhm.
that's that's when you begin. That's when you begin to pull things away.
But she
You
did.
know,
She already did bring it into your house. It's called politics. It's called VAWA. It's called red flag laws. It's called the Duluth
there's a
model.
reason.
Women, women,
There's a reason
women
that
have come.
in the house, that
Women.
place I live, we don't talk politics.
Mhm.
There's a
Okay,
reason.
that's nice.
There's a
That's nice
reason.
that you don't talk politics. But at the end of the day, this is really the crux of my argument. At the end of the day, the woman can call the police at any time, and she will have the final word. Ultimately, what I'm talking about is the final word.
All
At
right.
the end of the
That's when
day,
you
at
walk
the end
away.
of the day, at the end of the day, when a man and a woman have a disagreement, who has the final word? I say that the man should have the final word. Right now, the women,
True.
they're saying that they should have the final word, and they've gone to the government. They've petitioned to
And
the
that's when
government
you
to
and that's when
legislate
you
men.
and that's when you basically that's when you know that you're going to lose. You destroy the oil fields. And I'm gonna give an example. Like, okay, you won't relent on this. You're gonna call the police. I'm gonna put my 2 weeks notice in because I know what's going to happen. I'm gonna quit my job because I know what's gonna happen. I'm gonna go to jail and I'm gonna lose my job anyway. I'm gonna sign everything to her, and you basically got to become this crazy individual that will literally burn his own resources down in order
Mhm.
to basically for your own survival. I
Mhm.
have like I said, I have no problem becoming homeless if I have to be. You know, I have no problem if I'm be if my basically what like where basically my household's under threat. All right, the house
Mhm.
is yours. wish you the best of luck. Everything's signed over to you. I'm going to quit my job. Taxes are paid. Now it's time for me to leave. I signed my divorce, my section of the divorce papers. You sign yours. I'll turn it into the freaking county as soon as I get up to them in the morning, and I'm gonna quit my job, and I'm gonna wait until for the dust to settle to see what I'm gonna do, see what my next move's gonna be. If the dust settles and you're still trying to get more out of me, well, guess what? It's basically gonna be like this. Well, it looks like I won't be having a job for a while. If I'm gonna be put in jail for arrears, I'm not going to have a job for a while. I'm going to basically be living taxes off the tax public.
All right, I want to just ask this because I don't think we even addressed it. This is what was supposed to be about. Now, let me just ask you, Red Pill, first. Just answer briefly, and then Cowboy. Do you believe we are monogamous creatures?
Yes and no.
Okay.
It depends on the culture you come from. It depends on your status.
All right. Do you believe you are a monogamous creature? From the culture that you come from.
I from the culture I came from, how I was raised. At one point, I was.
Okay.
At one point, I was.
All right. And when okay.
Like I said, at one point, I was. When I was younger, I saw how my mom and dad used to live. Yeah, I was monogamous at one point, but nowadays, now that I've seen changes in life and seeing what's going on out there. Yeah, it's just like I'm no longer. I will not be fooled. I will not drink the Kool-Aid.
Okay, but okay, all right. This is I think okay. When I'm asking a question, I think okay. Okay, I understand what you're doing. You're relating what you the answer to society, but I'm asking, all right, if you believe originally that you're monogamous, but
I was
then okay, but then you or that with the mentality to be monogamous, right? Is that what you're saying? Okay, so then, all right, you see the benefit in that. Does the best way to do something change just because everyone around you is doing things wrong?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you're in a war and everyone's shooting at you, you have to pick up a gun and defend yourself. Otherwise, they'll just roll over you.
But everyone's not shooting at you though.
But I'm saying it's like
it's not accurate.
Problem.
It depends on the situation, you know.
All right. Okay. I'll give you a situation. All right. Let's say you're working a job. Okay. You agree to do certain work for the employer, and you follow these rules, those rules. Okay. Then all right, and everyone did the same thing. All right, but the other people around you, of course, they deviated from that, and many were fired or on the verge of getting fired. Do you believe that negates your the benefit of you continuing to keep your agreement, or should you just join the crowd because everyone around you?
Never quit a job without another job lined up.
Okay, that's not the point though.
That's not addressing the question he asked you.
Addressing the question is like if everybody's getting fired, if everybody's getting fired because they deviated and you still on the straight and narrow, you have nothing to worry about. You shouldn't have nothing to worry about unless you get blamed for it.
Okay, so you believe that you should continue to keep your obligation that you agreed to. You do your work like you were hired to do.
Yeah, if you are keeping your obligation, your company's not going to sit there and screw you over. Yeah, you can keep your obligation.
Okay, all right. What is your answer, Mgtow Cowboy?
I'm sorry. What's the question?
Okay, if you're hired at it.
You asked them, are we monogamous creatures or something?
I'm addressing another point at the moment. Because I think you both said that if you're working at a job, you get hired at a job, and of course they have rules and regulations you to follow and a certain job that they want you to do. All right, and you agree to that. You get hired. You're doing well. All right, but then you have other people that were hired as well, but you have a lot of them that begin to deviate from, they're doing their job properly and breaking the rules. So many of them get fired. But does that make it where you should begin to join them in their behavior, or should you continue to maintain your, what you agreed to do and just do your job well?
Right, right. Okay, I understand your question. I would say the latter. You should still follow the rules. However, I don't like how you're framing that, because you're essentially conflating a job with something much more important, and that is your love life and your legacy and your progeny. And so, I mean, my answer to that
Well,
is
no. The only point is not the job; it's the loyalty. Okay, do you
right, right.
will you
That's really what
continue to
you're
be?
asking. That's
Will
really
you
what you're
continue?
asking me. You're
Right.
addressing the idea: should people be loyal? And I say yes, they should. And
Okay.
that's really simply just addressing an idea that people should uphold. It's okay for people to make agreements with each other. I have no problem with that. I think that that's a great thing. I also think it's very important to teach the idea, to socialize the idea that you should uphold your you should if you make an agreement with someone, you should
Uphold
hold to that
your
agreement.
end of the
I
bargain.
have no problem with that. I have
Okay.
no problem with that either. My
Okay. No.
problem is,
Okay, but
I'm sorry.
I think you're. Yeah, but I think you're contradicting yourself. Okay,
Oh,
because
I'm sorry.
if you're saying, okay, this is what I hear from you, and correct me if I'm wrong. Okay, in this society, we're living in this society which is getting more and more corrupt. Okay, a lot
Mhm.
of people, many people. Okay, so let's talk about women, um, are acting a certain way. Okay,
Mhm.
now I was saying that what I heard from you was that because the women are acting so bad that gives you now the right, or you shouldn't have to be loyal to them.
Right, correct.
And I'm not talking about, I mean, loyal to your wife. Okay, and I'm not talking about marrying or the women that are out there that are disloyal. I'm talking about, does that negate you from holding the values in your marriage, or should you join them in their disloyalty?
Their disloyalty
Well,
is not
I'm
it's
not
not my
married.
problem.
Huh?
I'm not married,
I'm
so it's
let's see.
impossible
I
for me.
mean, look, I'm putting myself in the married person's shoes. If I got a woman that ain't bringing the drama in, that ain't bringing out outside world in, okay, you deserve the loyalty. The second you bring the outside world in the safe, I got divorce papers. You know, in the safe, I got my divorce papers and all the stuff that I need to make a clean separation and let you do what you do. I mean, I don't have to cheat, but I don't have to stay together.
Mm.
You know,
Uh,
I
yeah.
don't have to cheat, but I don't have to be with you. You know,
All right. Well, I think what I hear. Okay, but then I kind of hear two things. What I hear is that I believe that men value loyalty in monogamy in a relationship, but for some men who are MGTOW, they are so frustrated and angered and bittered and embittered by what women are doing, is that it kind of disgusts them when they think about the idea of being faithful any longer.
the thing is, I mean, the thing is I only put myself in a married man's shoes because I'm not married. You
Mm-hmm.
know, I mean,
You never been married?
I'm sitting, hmm?
Have you ever been married?
Never been married. I've never been
Okay.
married. I've tried dating. It turned out horrible, and
Mm-hmm.
it turned out horrible. It didn't go very well. So the best thing for myself, for me, myself,
Mm-hmm.
is just pretty much be by myself
Mm-hmm.
and just do what I do best.
Did you
And
live
I
with your
get more. I
girlfriends?
mean, I got peace and quiet.
Did you
I
live with
mean,
any of your girlfriends?
I ain't got no girlfriend. I mean,
No, no,
shoot,
no.
I've I've
I
had
said, did you ever live with any of your girlfriends that you had in your
nope,
relationship with? Okay.
nope. And the
All
thing,
right.
and one of the reasons is like as you see, my words come out like many time, majority of the time, my words come out like a sledgehammer. You
Mm,
know,
yeah.
and thinking my most of the majority of my relationships don't last more than 2 weeks.
2 weeks. Wow.
Yeah, I'm an asshole. I just say what it is.
But that's what a lot of women like.
My longest relationship was maybe a month.
Wow. Wow. Well,
What does that tell
okay.
you?
Well,
So
I don't. It just. I don't know. It's just different.
See, we have to just be
Yeah.
honest.
Not much right now.
We have to just be honest with ourselves, and we have to admit that part of the reason, for example, Red Pill in the Wind has not had some long 2-3 year relationship is because there's a whole other half to this. There's a whole second part of this equation. Women don't want that anymore. So I wanted to address what you were saying earlier. You asked Red Pill in the Wind, do you
Mm,
think that humans are monogamous by nature?
right. Right.
So I think that we are not. We are not monogamous by nature. And I think that this was one of the great things of Christianity. I think that Christianity helped, you could say, civilize us, if you will. I think that Christianity pushed this idea through culture that it's wrong for men to be fooling around, and also it's wrong for women to be fooling around. And even though there is a compromise that comes from
Mm,
this, because even though we want to fool around, we
mm,
stay together. And because we stay together, we end up raising these amazing children that are they're well balanced. How can I put it? They're properly socialized. They're not just stuck in their ego. They have a properly developed super ego. They care about the social mores, and then what happens? This ends up leading to great strides. It makes for great productivity in society, great creativity, great productivity. It civilizes us, and everyone benefits. But it's a compromise because, well, then men can't just be fooling around. Women can't be fooling around.
well, I
What
think.
I'm what what
Mm,
what, what I'm saying,
mm,
or I'm sorry, just to finish my point. What I'm saying is, I see all that. I like that. I'm willing to make that compromise.
mm.
However, the average woman today is not willing to make that compromise, period. And they've made that very clear. And the laws show that. The women have come together collectively. They've passed these laws. They've brought the government into our bedrooms, into our homes.
Hello.
yep, I'm here.
Okay. Mgtow went out. Let me see. He's talking. I'd like to ask him: is he? And well, for one thing, I don't agree that Christians are the ones who introduced the idea of monogamy. I think it goes
Yeah.
back. If he's starting at Jesus, I mean, it goes way further back.
It's just,
Then I want to ask him: is he atheist or not? Because when he talk about civilization of society, when I was wondering when he thinks society became civilized, or the earliest civilizations, when did they exist?
the Abyssinian. First thing foremost, a lot of the things, the monogamy comes from before the Abyssinians. Abyssinian. Maybe if we're going biblical, it's probably going to be pre BC, like the AD era, like somewhere in between the Abyssinians, you
Hmm.
know,
Hmm.
civilizations, the Sumerians,
Oh yeah, yeah,
yeah,
yep,
like toward the Sumerian area, you know.
right, right.
That's pretty much typically where monogamy is originated from.
Yeah, so that's yeah, so right, it goes back that far. Um, yeah, so I guess
It
we'll
was
continue. Hmm.
it was weaponized during the Christian Roman Empire,
What was
you know,
weaponized?
the monogamy.
Oh, okay. Well, I think what I'm thinking is that men, like I stated before, I just think a lot of men are disgusted at the thought now to be monogamous or faithful to a woman because of the things that women are doing. They no longer want to admit to that that's the best thing for marriages. You know what I'm saying? Because some of them just cannot relate to marriage anymore. This is what I hear in some men. They cannot relate to marriage anymore. They don't want to even think about it, and so it makes it impossible for them to um, speak on. So let's say you have some friends or individuals who are married who want to improve their marriages. If all you can think of marriage in a pessimistic way and see this woman, um, this guy's wife, as if she is one of these rebels, of which there are many, then how could you help facilitate the marriages? Don't you want to help improve things? And if you're bringing out things that women are doing wrong, if this woman is receptive to change what she's doing wrong, then then
That's
just
one
say
of the rare ones. That's one
right.
of the
Don't
rare ones.
right. Don't teach the husband to that he should become a rebel because other women in society are rebelling. It's still, if you have two people that are willing to make their marriage work, then let them do that and say things that will help them in their marriage rather than saying
Tear them
things.
down.
Yeah, like men, like women. You can have men and women. You can have somebody in your ear that's telling you things that undermine your marriage.
Yeah.
And I
My
think so, uh
my content is not for married folk. I know this. I know my content ain't for married folk. My content is not for people who are in relationships.
Yeah. Well, you say you haven't been married, and of course you have no desire to be married. So
I mean, I've lost my desire to be married a long time ago. In
yeah.
my 30s.
Hmm.
Actually, better yet, like in my mid to late 20s, that's when I started losing my desire to try to be married.
Yeah. Because you
It's
already. Go ahead.
because I've already been through the ringer. I've already been through the crazy stuff.
Hmm.
I mean, it's like, and I've already seen some crazy stuff.
Right.
I've seen Dear John text. I've seen the
Mm-hmm.
damage that a Dear John text can do to a person. I've seen you know, and
Yeah.
I've heard about the Dear John letters. And I imagine what the Dear John text, what type of damage that dude got on that with the Dear John text.
Hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
so I don't know. Like I said, I don't know if you know what a Dear John letter is.
Well, that's asking. Well, maybe not. Asking for advice for something, or maybe I don't.
The thing
I
is, a
I,
Dear
I think
John
it,
letter
I think
is,
those council columns or something.
yeah, basically a Dear John letter is basically your girl left you
Mm-hmm.
and just left you over a letter. You know,
Mm-hmm. Oh, okay,
she's
got you. Okay, all right. All right.
yeah, she left you
All right.
and basically basically you're getting overseas, you're getting deployed, you're deployed or somewhere over in the middle of a hot zone or a
Mm,
training zone,
yeah.
and you get a text message, you get a Skype message, a
Yeah.
letter saying, "Oh, it's not you, it's me. And I found another person at
Mm,
home. You're not home right now, and I'm banging this dude, so such and such. And I was nice enough to leave you the house with no furniture, with
mm,
no furniture, and some of the copper pipe and the majority of the copper pipes are missing.
yeah, that's
That's
something.
pretty much what it is.
Yeah, I know a lot of men go through that. But I mean, you haven't. You say you never lived with anyone, right? The girl, a lady.
Yeah, I mean, the only person I live is my sister, and that's only when I'm not in the truck.
Oh, okay. All right.
That's only when I'm not in the truck.
Yeah.
And other than that, it's like it's just for a physical address.
Yeah. Okay. All right. All right, Red
And
Pill. Well, I enjoyed talking to you. I'm gonna go. Yeah, I was on
all
here
right,
like yeah, a bit longer, definitely a bit longer than I expected. But yeah, I really enjoyed it. Yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it again. I hope you come back like we do another live.
I'll try.
All right.
All right. Take
Okay,
care.
buddy. All right. You too. Have a good night.
Peace.
Okay. All right. Peace, man. All right. Good night, everybody. I think most people have probably left anyway. All right. But thanks for stopping by, and I'll see y'all another time.